everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a bracelet and a pair of earrings today using some of the products I got from Pandahall Selected. I'm telling y'all, I sat down here intending to make a bracelet or a couple of pairs of earrings or maybe a necklace, and it morphs into a whole set, and I just don't know how that happens. But anyway, in case you're not familiar, Pandahall is one of the largest bead and accessory parts suppliers in China, and a mail-order shop specializing in beads and accessory parts. They provide high-quality jewelry, beads, findings, and crafts from small lots to large lots at a very low price. I have a coupon code that they gave me, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to their page in case you want to go over there and look around and make an order. The coupon code will save you 10% off your first order if you make an order with them. And here are the Pandahall Elite Frosted Natural Howlite Gemstone Beads. They're 8mm. And here are some of the daisy spacers I got from Pandahall Selected. These are some of the, I believe they were 7x8mm clear rondelle beads that we got in the last bargain bead box. I'm mixing boxes and bags and everything here. These are some bead caps from my stash. This is going to be my focal. This is a bead from my Jessie James beads. And this is one of the Howlite beads, and I've got some bead caps in there, and one of the small rondelle beads from the bargain bead box, and a head pin and an eye pin. In here I've got some findings. I've got a lobster clasp, a couple of pieces of chain, an extender chain, a ball head pin, and one of the little rondelles from the bargain bead box to hang off the ball head pin as a dangle. I've got some jump rings, 4 wire guardians, and 4 2x2 crimp tubes in there. This is going to be for the bracelet. It's all the same beads that's in the necklace, except I have a couple of large clear rondelle beads that came from my Jessie James beads, and I've got a toggle clasp in there, and a couple of wire guards and a couple of 2x2 crimp tubes. And this is going to be for my earrings. I've got a couple of the Howlite beads and a couple of the rondelles from the bargain bead box, and a couple of ear wires and some bead caps, and a couple of head pins. And then I'm using this Flex-Rite 49 strand wire again. It says clear, but it says stainless steel, and it says clear. I guess it's stainless steel wire. I don't know why it says clear, because it's silver looking, but like I always say, it doesn't really matter about the color. Once you get all the beads on there, you're not going to be able to see the color of the bead stringing wire anyway. I've got my bead stoppers. I've got my chain nose pliers, my round nose pliers, and my tweezer pliers. I've got both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers. I've got both pairs of my crimping pliers. I use the Xuron ones for crimping, and I use the beadle-on ones, the little circular part at the end, to tuck in the burr that's left when I cut off the wire. A lot of these I'll only need when I make the dangle for the necklace and when I make the earrings. And I've got both pairs of my cutters. One I use for bead string wire, and the other I use for craft wire and head pins and eye pins. And I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. Hold on, I'll get some of my beads out here and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to start here by making my focal. I'm going to take my head pin, and I'm going to put my bead, my big Jessie James bead here, on my head pin. I'm going to take my pliers and go to the tip of the pliers, because I don't want a very long neck. Because the longer neck you have, the more wire or more wraps you have to make, and I only want to make about 3, and this usually works out to make about 3. So I'm going to bend at a 90-degree angle over the tool. Take them around those pliers, put them in the crook of the bend, around those pliers facing me. I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight and pull the shorter wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. I'll cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, hold on really tight. I'll take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. I want to try to get that first wrap good and tight. And then just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off the extra wire. Take these pair of crimping pliers and go to that little part at the end there that has the half circles on each side. And I'm going to tuck my little burr in that's there where I cut off the wire. Now I'm going to take my eye pin and open up the eye of the eye pin. And put my dangle on. Close the eye pin back. Make sure to get it closed back really well, or you don't want it to come apart. Okay, now I'm going to take one of my bead caps and my Howlite bead and another bead cap and another bead cap facing the other way, one of my little clear rondelles and another bead cap. Now I'm going to go a little bit above the bead, and my bead cap always wants to stick to my pliers but I want to go a little bit above the bead because I don't want to crack my bead. And then I'm going to make a 90-degree turn, and now I'm going to cut off, leaving about 1/4 of an inch of the pin there. Hold on to this end so it doesn't go flying and hit somebody in the eye. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and go to the end of the wire here and make sure there's no wire sticking out. And I'm going to start to roll back a loop. Make sure you get my loop closed really well. So that's going to be my focal for my necklace. So now I'm going to get my beads out and string up one side of my necklace. So I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to string one side of my necklace here. I'm going to do one of my clear rondelle beads and one of my little daisy spacers, one of my bead caps, one of my Howlite beads, another bead cap, Howlite bead without a bead cap, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, daisy spacer, one of my clear rondelle beads, daisy spacer, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, howlite bead without bead caps, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, daisy spacer, rondelle bead, daisy spacer, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, daisy spacer, clear rondelle bead, daisy spacer, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, howlite bead without bead caps, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, daisy spacer, rondelle bead, daisy spacer, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, howlite bead without bead caps, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, daisy spacer, and rondelle bead. So that's going to be one side of my necklace. Now I'm going to crimp. I'm going to put my crimp tube on, my wire guardian, come down the other side of my wire guardian, the other channel, go back through my crimp tube, pull my wire through and make sure my wires are not crossed. Tuck in my little wire guardian a little bit, very gently because it's easy to destroy these little things. Pull my wire through and hold it apart. I'm going to take my Zuron crimpers and take the part that's got the little tooth there, and I'm going to put the little tooth on top, and I'm going to lay it in there. going to squeeze. That makes a little channel for each wire. Now I'm going to go into the middle part. There's 3 circular parts there, and the middle one is for the 2x2 crimp tubes. So I'm going to go in that one and lay my crimp in there, squeeze, and I'm going to go down to the next one and squeeze. I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. And now I'm going to go down to this end and cut my wire off my spool. I just always leave it on the spool until if I know what my design is going to be. I'm going to put my crimp tube on and my wire guardian. Go down the other channel of the wire guardian. And go back down the crimp tube. And on this side I try to go through a bead or 2 to get my hands out of the way. Keep my wires from being crossed. Hold on to the wire guardian. Pull the wire through. Tuck my little wire guardian in a little bit. Now I want to make sure there's no slack in my piece, but I don't want it to be really tight either, because if it's really tight it won't drape well. Now I'm going to go into that part of the crimping pliers with the tooth again and put the tooth on top. Squeeze. Now I'm going to go into the middle part where the circular part is and lay my crimp in there. I can get a hold of it. It's wanting to move around on me today. Squeeze and fold my crimp. Then go down to the next one and squeeze. I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. So that's one side of my necklace. Now I'm going to string the other side up just exactly like this and crimp it off camera, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got both sides strung up here now, and I'm going to put it together. So I'm going to take, I've got an 8mm jump ring here. Open it up. Thread on one side of my necklace. Thread on my focal. Thread on the other side of my necklace. Close my jump ring up. Now I'm going to come up here, and I've got a couple of pieces of chain. They're about 3 inches each. And I'm going to take a 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Thread on my necklace. Thread on one piece of my chain. close my jump ring up. Make sure to get it closed up really well. Now I'm going to take another 6mm jump ring and do the same thing on the other side. Thread on my chain. Now I'm going to go down to the end of my chain and take another 6mm jump ring. Open it up. Thread on my lobster clasp. I'm going to take another 8mm jump ring and put it on this side for my lobster to clasp onto, and I've got about 1.5 inches of extender chain here. So that's what I've got now for my necklace. Now I'm going to make a little dangle to go on my extender chain. I've got a ball head pin here. I'm going to put my little, I'm going to have to get a seed bead or something that's going to fall through there. That hole's too big on that rondelle. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I got a couple more of the little daisy spacers. I'm going to put a daisy spacer on here. That won't go through. Well, you can't see, I'm not in the camera. That won't go through there. So now I'm going to put my rondelle on there and another daisy spacer. And now I'm going to take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers, put the round nose pliers in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight. Take this part and pull it up and under here until it's hitting the bottom of the pliers. Cock the loop back until it's centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Hold on really tight. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start wrapping. Get the first wrap good and tight. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in a little burr that's left where I cut the wire off. I'm going to take my extender chain and take the last link. Open it. Thread on my little extender, or my little dangle. Close it back. So there's my necklace all done. Now I'm going to get my stuff together and string up my bracelet. I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to string up my bracelet here. I'm going to do a small clear rondelle and a spacer bead and a bead cap and a howlite bead and a bead cap and a spacer bead, and a small clear rondelle bead, and a spacer bead, and a bead cap, and a howlite bead, bead cap, howlite bead without bead caps, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, spacer bead. And now I'm going to do one of these big clear rondelles that came from my Jessie James beads. Spacer bead, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, spacer bead, and now one of these big, like I did my focal on my necklace, one of these big beads. Spacer bead, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, spacer bead, another big rondelle from my Jessie James beads, spacer bead, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, howlite bead without bead caps, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, spacer bead, small clear rondelle bead, spacer bead, bead cap, howlite bead, bead cap, spacer bead, and small rondelle bead. So that's going to be my bracelet. So I'm just going to crimp this off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll put the toggle clasp on. Okay, I've got my bracelet strung up here now. I'm just going to put my clasp on. So I've got a couple of 6mm jump rings here. Just going to put my toggle loop on. Close it up really well. And then take the other one. Put my toggle ring on, my toggle bar on. Close it back up. There's my bracelet. Oh, get it down here so you don't see it. So now I'm going to get my stuff together, make a really quick and easy pair of earrings. So hold on. Okay, now I'm going to make a really simple little pair of earrings. I've got a head pin here. I'm going to put an bead cap on, and a howlite bead, and a bead cap, and another bead cap going the other way, and one of my little clear rondelles, and another bead cap. And now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to go to the tip of the pliers, bend at a 90-degree angle over the pliers, put my round nose pliers in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, hold on tight, pull the shorter part up in under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, hold on really tight, and then take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Get that first wrap good and tight. Just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. I might have wrapped beyond the point where there was no more room to wrap that time. I need to pull it back a little bit, I think. Oops. Okay. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire, take my crimping pliers, tuck in my little burr, now I'm just going to take my ear wire and open it up and put my earring on. There, really simple and easy little earring. Now I'm going to make the other one off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, there we go. A whole set of jewelry, a necklace, bracelet, and earrings, all made with some of the products I got from Pandahall Selected. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.